community-based organizations. In this way, the people themselves are fully equipped and empowered to manage and advance their communities, and in so doing, create a cumulative effect of national advancement. In this regard, I would like to commend the Energy Corporate Social Responsibility Task Force in its efforts towards building partnerships with key community groups and government agencies. For instance, there is now a partnership between the energy state sector and the Ministry of National Security in the delivery of youth development programs, including the expansion of police youth clubs. Also, given our long history of oil production over the many years, we have developed considerable expertise in energy and energy-related activities. And it's important that this rich legacy of generations past is documented for generations to come. I am therefore pleased to note that the CSR Task Force has also identified public education as a major objective of its mandate. An event such as this, the National Schools Essay Competition, is in keeping with the thrust towards greater public awareness and understanding. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, young men and women, one of the challenges facing the Ministry of Energy is ensuring that the wider community has an appreciation of the role and importance of this sector. It is true that many people may already know, and you've heard it here this evening, that the energy sector accounts for 45% of the country's gross domestic product and 63% of our foreign exchange earnings. But while this is important, some do not fully appreciate how this success of the energy sector translates to a stable and happy life for all our people. It is these revenues from the energy sector that is to a large extent responsible for our ability to have free tertiary education and secondary education. It is in the energy sector revenues that allow us to have our highways and the best infrastructure in the English-speaking Caribbean. It is our energy sector that allows us to have relatively cheap fuel at a time when oil prices are near record highs. It is our energy sector revenues that supports the onshore economy and allows unemployment to be lower than it is in the United States of America, let alone the Caribbean region. And I think it is in understanding this significance in the manner in which you have demonstrated in your essays that we will be motivated to continue our efforts to grow and develop this sector, while at the same time ensuring that we use our resources in the most efficient and effective way possible. This is where our students come into play and really take center stage. In understanding the energy sector and the natural resources that have driven our development to date, a strong platform now exists for you to take the lead as we commence the transition to another area, renewable energy. Renewable energy, as you know, has been given great prominence by this government because of how essential it is for us to diversify our energy mix, as well as to ensure sustainability and continued energy leadership. I say this to make abundantly clear the level of importance the government places on creating an empowering environment for students to take hold of your roles as leaders of tomorrow in energy and other sectors as well. As a government, we need you, and we need your input and continued growth so that when our time passes, our nation can be confidently and safely taken forward. As an independent nation, in this period of transition, we also need to encourage and facilitate more indigenous research into our oil and gas industry. I would therefore urge the various companies to consider this as part of their future planning and to take on the role of facilitators in this regard. We have a marvelous story to tell. And at this particular juncture of our history, where we are creating a harmonious transition from non-renewable to renewable, and ensuring that our oil and gas foots the bill for this transition, the world can learn a great deal from Trinidad and Tobago. And based on your essays and the quality of your submissions, you can emerge as our best narrators of this transition and the best leaders of our new energy sector. Young men and women, today we celebrate 100 years of history in oil and gas. Mr. Andrew Jupiter mentioned when he was challenged 40 years ago when he entered this refinery. When I was an A-level student like you, I was challenged when they invited A-level students to come to the Point Lisas industrial estate. Therefore, returning just recently from Ghana, where we shared our stories, our experience, our 100 years of history, our scars, because yes, we have made mistakes. But you know, today you stand here and you can start another 100 years of history making in energy in Trinidad and Tobago. If it's one thing I want you to remember from this event, is that today you are at the start of another 100 years of history making of the energy sector of Trinidad and Tobago. Noted, I did not say oil and gas. Therefore, in closing, I want to congratulate the schools and students who have participated and those who have won prizes and awards. The government also applauds the teachers who worked with them to ensure their success. I also want to say, young men and women, years ago, I was sitting right where you are sitting, being told by leaders of that time that one day the responsibility would fall to me and my friends and my classmates to take leadership. I didn't fully appreciate that then. And as I grew, I got the message. And today, I'm standing here as a professional, trained and experienced in the oil and gas side of energy, and as minister with that responsibility. And through the Government of the People's Partnership, we have created a shift to an excited period of transition. In the years to come, you are the ones who will be the renewable energy champions, and by virtue of the government's foundation of today, will become steeped in the renewable side of energy. You therefore are the ones who will see our nation through this transition and take Trinidad and Tobago comfortably into a new age of energy. And I want to leave you with this message. Every day we look around our country and across borders to other countries, and we see people waiting for a period of change. People are waiting, and some are searching for that moment in time when they can get involved and be part of that positive change. I urge you to take this as your moment in time when you make yourselves an important part of Trinidad and Tobago's change process. You are the champions. You are the ones who will not be bound by legacy, but rather lead the beginning of new legacies. Take this moment as yours, and in moving forward, do all you can to make our country proud. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, young men and women, the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.